listen to this lineup over here. Billie Eilish, Bruce Springsteen, Daniel Radcliffe, Annie Leibovitz. What do they have in common? Da-na-na-na. They're just a few of the countless artists, actors, and creators that have sat down with our own Anthony, as in Mason. So if you're like us around here in the studio, you've ever wished, I wish those conversations were longer. That's what we say all the time. We got some good news for you today because Anthony is launching a new YouTube show. It's called Alchemy with Anthony Mason. What is it? It's a long-form interview program celebrating artists and the creative process. So up your alley, Anthony. In the debut episode, it's out now. Anthony speaks with the singer-songwriter Hozier about a famous duo who influenced him as a kid.
I used to listen to Simon and Garfunkel every day driving home from school, you know, and every day on the way to school, you know. Like that was before you had a set of headphones to put on. It was like, you know, you didn't have your personal portal into your treehouse, you know. So there was, you know, listening was of place and time, and there was a bit of ritual to it.
I mean, I love the treehouse analogy because it is this world, this space you build for yourself, where you're safe within your own thoughts and you understand your own influences and. And I think that's so important for kids, you know, to be like, this is. And especially when it's like, my friends don't get this, or maybe my folks don't get this, but this is some way in which I know myself.
Anthony, good morning and congratulations.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
And as I'm sitting there watching, I thought, God, I feel like we're sitting in Anthony's house having a conversation. Guess what? We're sitting in Anthony's house having a conversation. That's the first thing that struck me right away.
That's the whole idea. You know, it's like I reached out to, I had this idea in my head. I'm like, I've always thought when I do an interview, I want people to feel like they're sitting on the arm of a sofa listening in on an interesting conversation. And I was like, well, where do you do that? Well, you do that at home. You know, so that's what we did. I mean, and we've worked a long time on this launch. I'm really excited. Over the weekend, we got our flagship sponsor, our founding sponsor, Flag Art Foundation. They've come aboard. They support artists and exhibitions all over the world. So I feel like we're in the same space. We're lined up. We're ready to go. I reached out to 3 people in the beginning to start this show.
Who were they?
I reached out to Hozier, Paul Simon, and Nile Rodgers.
And they all said yes.
Every single one said yes.
What did Mrs. Mason say about setting up shop?
She said, "Are you really doing this in the apartment?" and I was like, well, it's you know, we got a little small budget right now, so we're going to go with that. But I wanted that feeling, you know. It's like
well, I was going to say, Anthony, not to cut you off, but I think it's so interesting that you're doing this because a part of what goes into the alchemy is the creative process of these artists that you're talking to. And oftentimes in the stories that we do on this show, we don't have time to dig into that process.
The moments I love is I always view an interview as like you're going into a house, and usually you don't get past the front room, right? There are all these, you see a long corridor, you see rooms down the hall, and you're like, I kind of want to go down there, and you've got to wait till kind of the person you're talking to kind of hints at that door, and you go, well, let's, and my goal, in a long interview, you have a chance to kind of tap on the doors of rooms and say, what's in there? And that's I love going down that hall.
Why do you call it alchemy?
Alchemy is a word from the Middle Ages, which is when they used sort of very early chemistry and a little bit of magic to try to create like gold. And so many musicians I've talked to have described the process of writing a song as alchemy.
And it really, it takes that definition and it expands on what these guys do to create something new. What have you learned about yourself in this process of building this show?
Well, there's a lot of things I don't know how to do. That's what I learned. I mean, we love to sit out here and do this. There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes. I'm worried now about, you know, thumbnails for YouTube pages, which, you know, and where does the wording go and all that stuff. I've got a great producer, Rebecca Castagna, who used to work with me here, who's in charge of this show. We've got Collective Media, Allison Pepper, who runs Collective Media, who used to work here as well. So, and my brother is my business manager, who used to be a big muckety-muck at a bank.
But Anthony, most of all, they have you. I got to go back to Hozier's interview for a second because he says, you have the ability to ask me a question that puts me in all my feelings. He gets very emotional talking about his dad, a side that I didn't know. I didn't know that he raises bees. I mean, it's just something, all your interviews are like that. That's why we are all so excited for you because I know that this one's going to work. It's
going to be out of the park.
Well, I mean, it's a conversation I've kind of been having for 20 years in talking to artists. I just wanted a home for it where we could show the whole conversation, and that's the place. Alchemy with Anthony Mason on YouTube. I hope people subscribe.
And it's, as you say, you can click on my smiling face. To watch the debut episode, visit Anthony's YouTube page, Alchemy, today. Subscribe to see the new episode.